Hi Pisces, and welcome to your June forecast. We're going to start with astrology and then we're going to continue with tarot. So somewhere halfway mark, you can switch to tarot and find it out there. So this particular month there is going to be emphasis on home and family. So you're going to be actually in a really good shape for improving your sense of safety, your sense of security, and basically your comfort. It's kind of like a healing and a wholeness that I'm feeling, as well as some kind of like putting things in place, organization to your home life and family relationship, right? It's going to be also an important period for kind of like feeling strong, feeling grounded, feeling anchored on a psychological level. So in spite of that, Mars is going to continue to rev up as it transits your sign until the 27th, right? So this is where it is. So this is making you feel more confident. It's going to making you feel more direct. It's very much kind of like generally, essentially unlike you, but you feel really good about it because you're kind of putting these plans in order and you're ready to move it forward. Except in June, you're not always going to be allowed to move plans forward because of Venus in retrograde until the 25th, and then Mercury turns retrograde on the 18th, and so does Neptune. And Neptune is one of your planetary rulers that is kind of like turning retrograde on the 22nd, pardon me. So it is important to watch for impatience, right? So this transit is good for feeling comfortable to kind of like assert yourself and kind of like pursue your desires. So anything that is kind of concerning about drive or enterprise or courage and energy kind of like feels like you have a lot of that, right? It also can be when money comes in, as Mars rules your income sector. So until the 25th, Venus is in retrograde and Mars is in your sign. And when we have this kind of combination, it can get a bit tricky. You might come across as insensitive at times, right? So it's kind of like a good idea to soften your approach, maybe just a little bit, and nudge like down there. Or you might unwittingly make more problems for yourself that are necessary. So you need to kind of like review this, because this confidence also makes you less connected, and being connected is your forte. So like it's kind of weird, you cannot have the volume up and down all the time. So now you're seeing the other side of this, right? So this is a good time to look for different perspectives. So whatever this is, like family relationships or home life or living conditions, maybe it's also concerning your projects and studies, right? You might be working on issues that are concerning your family or home, and kind of like making really solid plans to kind of like improve things. So you will likely this month focus on bringing harmony and balance and peace to your home life and family dynamics. It's all kind of like circulating around there. And there can be maybe old problems that kind of like come back and resurface that you deal with. But you'll be looking at these things like sort of like almost like from a hangman position in completely new ways, especially when things move forward after the 25th. You're going to have really more definite idea of what is the most important to you and also what to do about it. So we are just finishing the lunar eclipse, which started on the 5th, and this is kind of like coming as a major push to start fresh. It's kind of like regarding a better balance between your home and working life, right? So it's going to be attention to performance, but it's also going to be attention to quiet. You can maybe experience epiphany or realization, and it's going to be a very important time for discovering your true feelings about something, right? So this is an eclipse, so it can illuminate a matter related to some kind of like major plans in your life. Could be a career or major life goal, right? So you may be in the position to show off your professional and responsible side, or there may be revelations about your career responsibilities, right? You need to watch for displays or outbursts, as that can be more public. That's the Mars. It's kind of like you hear somebody blurring certain things out and you're saying to yourself, oh my God, and then you realize, oh my gosh, this is me doing that. So that's also, emotions are highlighted around any lunar eclipse, and this one is complicated and kind of like it's challenging aspect to that impulsive Mars, right? it almost looks like you're driving a car that brakes are not working properly, because in your car called Pisces, those brakes are always there. They're soft touch. You don't want to shake anything up. And now this is kind of like feeling really weird. So, but at the same time, it's very exciting. So that's kind of like you're lured into that, but at the same time, things are happening that are not necessarily you. So you might somehow feel torn between sticking with what's comfortable and also, like, taking risks, especially in this first half of June. And it's almost like you're itching to do something productive, but if things don't happen soon enough, you become frustrated, or you just really want to give up. So it's the best way to avoid fretting by seeking the positive in front of you. You need to keep reminding yourself it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You have to do, you know what they call it, baby steps. But I don't really think you're in the baby steps right now. Right now you're just rolling your eyes. What do you mean baby steps? I'm like powerful right now. So the sun is heading into your sector of joy on the 20th. That's when it switches to Cancer. And then we have the solar eclipse the next day, and that's kind of like restart or reinvigoration of some kind of project or hobby, or even like dating life in the weeks that are following that. So it's a time of new beginning. It's regarding kind of like heartfelt pursuits. So events happening can kind of like stir your romantic feelings, and it's going to be really good, blissful time. It's kind of desire for pleasure, and it's also desire for creativity, right? You will more want to kind of like entertain or to be entertained, kind of like celebrate, enjoy, and also share yourself with others. So anything that was holding you back from expressing yourself now might come under scrutiny, right? So also you need to keep in mind that thinking is a little bit fuzzy around eclipses. So the eclipse on the 21st happens very close to Neptune's retrograde station. So you need to be just a little bit more cautious and precise than usual with kind of like keeping all the documents and projects on time, right? And then Mars enters your resources sector on the 27th. It's going to be extended stay. So that's going to bring a much stronger than usual desire to bring abundance in your life, right? You might feel motivated to make money, but you're also going to be motivated to spend money. So beware of impulsive purchases during this period. And whenever you purchase something, especially during Venus retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, you kind of like end up regretting it, and it becomes wasteful. So again, like you're waiting for the 27th. At that stage, we are still in Mercury retrograde. So any purchases that requires computers, put it on a back burner for now, right? And don't make anything really big. Also, last days of June, like it's going to be kind of like focused energy, determination, and it's going to make you all kind of like look in the finances, or maybe even something that is emotional, and you're going to get a really big satisfaction from a job well done. So this is kind of like a time where you really want to remove any excess in your life, and kind of like you'll be stronger and focus stronger toward where you really want to go. So okay, so let's see what we see in tarot over here and how that connects. First of all, on the bottom of that is that romance that we've seen, and let me just lift it up a little bit. There we go. And we also have the moon as the first major arcana underneath, which is your card, and it is like that psychic hunches. It is kind of like you being you, and I really think this Mars is going to, whoa, look at this, it's going to be for first card down. I'm seeing Judgment card, which is lovely as well. So this is really telling me that you're feeling very powerful, that Mars is making you feel very powerful. And Mars comes and goes. You kind of like almost like feel that somebody gives you this invisible shield of superpowers, but then goes away, and then you feel like deflated. No, the whole point is like this is almost like to give you a boost. You give you a boost, and now you keep going. So don't kind of like think just because the energy is not going to be intense later that kind of like is different. But keep in mind, Mars is like really going in a good sector in your case. So maybe this is why you have good kitty. This is kind of like that card with karma attached to it. it works both ways. You get both rewarded and punished. It's not one way or the other with this card. But when it's upright, you get the feeling of more that things are going in a great direction. Things are going where you really, really want to go. And also something is getting equalized. So whether this is something you did in this life or in previous life, whatever it is, don't get impatient. Maybe somebody approaches you with something, or maybe you approach, maybe you're ready. Remember how I said, look at things from a different perspective. Maybe you're ready to look at things from different perspective, but somebody else is not. And you're going, what the heck? What is it? You were telling me you need this from me, and now I'm doing this, and you're nowhere to be found, because the Seven of Earth is coming reverse. But this also can be talking about you looking in some kind of investments. And those investments can be financial, but those investments can be also emotional. You are actually getting rid yourself of things that are dead weight. You're just tired of certain things not showing up on time. So at the same time, this is warning you about that you're going to kind of like prematurely jump the gun. So be very careful, because it almost looks like it's going to be a situation that is going to be created for you that is a test, kind of like test from universe, from God, whatever you want to look at it. And then we have another 7, so it's very spiritual month. Let's take these 2 cards down as well that we saw, right? So 7 of Fire is about knowing who you are. You see, all of these kitty cats want to get this spot. All of them think they deserve it, but only one has it, and this one doesn't want and doesn't think for a moment that anybody should take this spot. So it is kind of like back off. It's kind of like creating the space and establishing where you're good at. This is also kind of like good time for boundaries, right? So somebody wants to encroach on the boundary, you're going to be very vocal and very, very action oriented to put them back in their place. The same person continuously, like, it's not abnormal. People always step on these boundaries, thinking the more they know, that more they can break them, and that's why we have this expression, familiarity breeds contempt. But that's why we need to kind of like refresh these people's memory. Hey, we talked about it before. It wasn't okay before. It's still not okay. And unfortunately, if they do it 1,000 times, you'll have to do 1,001 times, and that's the way it will go. And here is the past, and then we have a 9 of Cups, and then you had the 1 of Cups over here as the major energy. You guys have big plans, and these plans are already in the process. These plans already started. You're looking about what makes you who you are. Sorry, let me kind of like reposition this. You're looking into what are the things that make you happy, and you're moving in that direction. That's why you're getting rid of the dead weight. That's why you're setting your boundaries, because with Mars in your basically wings, you are more vocal. You're more expressive about what bothers you. And this is also learning experience, because usually you like to be always soft and giving. By telling people what bothers you is actually also showing vulnerability, because being able to speak who you are, being authentic, means you're going to connect to somebody for real, not only connecting with you because you appear to be nice, and then one day you're just going to break. You're not going to be able to sustain this forever. So this is kind of like better. And then you also have another 9. You have a 9 of Fire. So this is about counsel. This is about feeling maybe even a little bit worn out. It's kind of weird that you're going from like 1 to 9 and then from 7 to 9. So you're kind of like jumping to this last phases of something, which is really telling me that this was a process. This is not something small. This is something big. This is something you have been conceiving and thinking and hoping for quite a while. These are clearly emotional wishes. Look at like all these emotions. But this is that action. This is that kind of like Mars energy that is propelling you forward. And not always that you are propelling yourself forward, but you are also kind of consulting others and getting a feedback, and it looks like you're studying into things, and maybe you had few kind of like falling downs, but you still got up and you're still moving forward. If there is a particular person in your life, there's like something that with some of you, you feel a little bit on the edge. You feel, oh my God, how many more times we need to go through that? And you're probably saying, Kat, you said if they do it 1,000 times, do it 1,001 times back. But you're saying, well, I don't want to do that. I'm just tired of doing that. I just don't want to go in this direction. But look, you have a second karma card, and it's just like right next to the good kitty. And the wheel is the karmic wheel that keeps spinning. You see, this is that Om, it's that energy. And it always feels weird. It feels like when you, this is mirroring this 9 of Seas. So this is like a 10. So 9 of Cups is going into this major arcana card. And this really tells me that it's going to feel really good. You're actually doing something really major this month, because this is your card coming through with 2 major arcanas. The wheel is something that's going to happen immediately. Maybe you really wish something for yourself. You want it really, really badly. You maybe want somebody badly. This card is ruled with Jupiter, and this is almost like ensuring success. And not only success, but you'll be extremely joyful about that. This is your house, Sky King. So this could mean appearing somebody who maybe was a little bit icy at the time, but this is a really good person. This is a general reading, so it could be male or female, either way. But Sky King is the one who is always advocating fairness, even if this is going against the grain for himself or herself, right? So this might be you, that you're trying to reach a decision which is like almost clinical and fair, very much in an unemotional way. Or it could be that you are with someone who is like that you're attracting person who just being with you is being able to get the emotions from you, where you're able to get the analytical side, right? So it's almost like that would be a situation, you complete me kind of a thing. The environment is 7 of Sea. You're like attracting people who are dreamers, but also who, because like this is the 3rd 7, so now you see the 7s, it's a high level of spirituality this month, it's high level of committing to your goals. But you also need to learn how to sift through people who might just get you back in that rabbit hole, right? Just might get just all the way back in, because this means this is literally kind of like what you like. And again, you're going again to 7 to 9, 7 to 9. We didn't get the 9 of Pentacles yet, but this is like about soap bubbles. They look real until they burst. So maybe somebody has big dreams, maybe somebody is telling you everything you want to hear, everything sounds good, but this is not founded on anything, so you need to be very, very careful about it. And then we have the Emperor. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 majors, which is really, really big. The Emperor is like in your hopes and fears section, so you really want to solidify something, you really want to hear yes for something, you want to be in control of the situation. This can talk about employment situation, this can talk about some kind of justice. Some of you are asking for settlement, some of you are asking and waiting for some kind of like legal paperwork to appear. You're like wondering how much is this going to rattle you. Like I was rattled this morning. I'm getting notification from Canada CRA, Canadian Revenue Agency, notice of assessment immediately. That didn't put me in a good mood at all, right? Because then you need to go through all your receipts and paperwork. And I just like thought, okay, so I'm going to check it out later. But then I said, okay, let's face it right away. So I'm logging in, because you have to log in to get a message, and it says, oh, just to let you know, we have assessed your return from the last year, and this is like all money, full 100% approved. So something's kind of like facing the circumstances, facing the music. It's going to be just that you're getting what you demanded, right? So getting every freaking penny back, right? And this is going into 3 of Earth, but it is reversed. And I don't know like how this 3 fits in this entire story. It almost looks like it's a complete disconnect over here, but this is not about teamwork. It almost like the only way it would fit into this puzzle is if you are saying to yourself that you're not going to allow somebody to choose. You might choose for them, or they'll be forced to immediately reach the decision. And that's why this whole control, that's why it's consulting other people. This could be consulting your friends, it could be consulting a tarot reader, could be simply kind of like doing a research of some sort and just like taking a gamble on the situation. And that's maybe why this, either a friend or this kind of like thinking hat is going to be very, very needed. Oh, and I drew balance. And balance would be Justice card in this deck, which also would be one of the karma cards. So then I would just need to get 2 more and look at how many more cards I have there. So it just goes to show that you really have to watch your actions and attitudes this month. Anybody wants the ice cream? And it's going to be very important for you to kind of like move in a good direction. Look at this. This is having a big wings and having a big heart. And yes, you also need to know how in life to treat yourself. And also you need to know in life when something has to go. And the reason why it needs to go is like if you have a cup that is half full, you are neither happy nor unhappy. No matter how you look at it. You can look at it as half full, or you can look at it as half empty. It doesn't really matter. The truth is just like it's halfway over there, right? Now you're letting go of certain things and you're saying, well, you know what? It needs to be worked on. I need to kind of create something in my life where I will get what you want, but at the same time, I'm not going to feel that I am wasting my life and getting kind of like less than I deserve. So, my dear Pisces, I hope this was helpful. Would like to get your comments. If you got some messages for you, you subscribe because they were meant for you. And you need to understand this is a general reading. Not everything will be for you, but if you want reading that only reads your energy, just contact me at contact me at that's kind of like tough to kind of Google cattarot.ca. All the info is down in the description. Until the next time, I love you. So have a great month, and later. See you.